My name is Toni and I will be guiding you through your 30-minute hips and hamstrings class. If you need blocks or a pillow for your practice, grab those now. And we're going to be meeting on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana, palms of the feet together, knees spread wide. All right, so meeting on our backs, bring the palms of the feet together, knees spread wide here, Supta Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. And just rest the head down onto the mat. Maybe tuck your shoulder blades in towards one another. Bring your hands towards your sides, palms face up towards the sky. Maybe you place blocks underneath your legs if you need that extra little bit of support. If this is a little bit too much on your hips, you can do that. Or if you want to challenge yourself a little bit and get a little deeper into this stretch, place a block underneath your feet to elevate the feet higher towards the sky, and that will bring the knees down, and gravity will now force the knees down a little bit more, and you'll get deeper into those hips, and you'll start to feel that a little bit more. So close your eyes here. Soften through your shoulders, soften through your jaw. And just start to arrive in your practice, arrive in your body, and arrive in your breath. Just noticing how you feel, checking in with yourself, checking in with your thoughts, with your breath, with how you're feeling, how the body feels, if there's any aches or pains, just be aware of them for practice. Knowing that my voice is just a guide throughout this practice, so ultimately listen to your body and listen to my voice second. So just using my voice as a recommendation. If you want to flow with me and move with me, amazing, but always taking breaks or modifications if you need to. You can always find child's pose or come back onto the back in Supta Baddha Konasana or Shavasana at any point throughout your practice. And when you're ready, take a big inhale through the nose, send the breath down towards your belly. Feel the belly rise up towards the sky. As you exhale, let it fall, open the mouth side out. Big inhale, breath down towards your belly, up into the rib cage, expanding through the belly and the ribs, reaching them high towards the sky. Really filling up, holding at the top, and then exhale, side out, let it go. Big inhale down towards your belly, up into the rib cage. This time bring it all the way up towards your heart space. Holding at the top and maybe sip in a little bit more air. A little bit more. And then as you exhale, side out, let it go. And then when you're ready, you can use your hands to help guide the knees up towards the sky. Plant the feet onto the mat. Tuck your tailbone under so you have a nice flat spine here on your mat. Let's heel toe the feet nice and wide, about mat distance apart, and then take them over towards the right. Inhale back through center, and then over towards the left. Just windshield wipering the legs from side to side, using your breath to connect the movement. Inhales, bring the knees up, and exhales, you drop over towards the side. Maybe you take your gaze towards the opposite shoulder as the knees fall over towards the opposite side. Beautiful. The next time you land on the right side, stay here. Maybe your arms reach open into a T or a cactus shape. And if this is too much on your hips, you can place a block or a pillow underneath your thigh to help with supporting here. If you want to increase the stretch in the front of the left thigh, the hips flexor, you can take the right ankle and cross it over top of the thigh, the left thigh, avoiding through your knee. And breathe into the top of the left hip. And just stay here. Gaze can fall over the left shoulder if that feels okay. Soften through your shoulders, soften through your rib cage. Breathe into the places of sensation. Really use your breath to allow you to soften a little bit deeper on every exhale. And as you inhale, maybe you create a little bit more space. And cultivate an Ujjayi breath here as you inhale through the nose. Makes a little slight sound. And then as you exhale, you just exhale through the nose with a light restriction of the back of the throat. The tongue touches the top of the mouth. It's like an oceanic wave washing over your body. And then as you inhale, bring your gaze through center. Keep the shape in the legs and start to bring it up towards figure 4. Tuck the tailbone back under. And then maybe you stay here. Maybe this is enough for your hips. Flex through the right foot to protect your knee. Or maybe you start to reach up and grab for the left thigh, so the left hamstring, or even the left shin if you want to deepen into the stretch. Soften through your shoulders. The back of the head is landed on the mat. Big inhale to create a little space here. And as you exhale, can you draw the right knee towards the right top corner of the mat? You should feel a nice sensation deep in the right hip, the right glute. Breathe here. Big inhale breath. Big exhale breath. Let it go. Beautiful. Holding here for just a few more breaths. And just notice that left knee. Is it coming towards center? Try to draw it over towards the left shoulder and in line with the left shoulder. Maybe you draw the left knee a little bit closer in towards your chest as you draw the right knee a little closer towards the top corner of your mat. Breathe in here. One more exhale. And slowly start to release your grip. Drop the left foot back onto the mat, opening up into half happy baby. You can either draw the right knee towards the right shoulder and stay there, or maybe you reach up and grab for the right foot. And then starting to stack the heel over top of the knee if you can. If you look a little bit more like this, that's okay. Just always trying to aim for stacking every time you show up on your mat. Maybe you extend the left leg down the mat, and then left hand lands onto the left hip. Guide the hip down so that your hip points are now aligned with the ceiling. Soften your shoulders down your back. Soften through your jaw. Close your eyes. Big inhale. As you exhale, try to press down onto the foot and then foot back into the hands. So you create a little resistance in the leg, creating a little bit of pressure. You can feel that really deep into the right hip. Soften your shoulders. Beautiful. Big inhale here. Big exhale, get a little deeper. One more inhale. And as you exhale, draw the right heel towards the right glute and then start to draw the knee back through center. Plant the left foot onto the mat and then cross the right knee over the left. So it's like you're sitting in a chair cross-legged. Tuck your tailbone under. And then maybe you stay here. This could be enough for you. Or maybe you start to draw the knees in towards your chest as you grab a hold of the knees. And this could be a beautiful place. You might already feel a beautiful sensation down the right side of the body. So right IT band and then also the right hip. Maybe this is perfect for you. Or maybe you want to start to slide the hands down the legs, so down the shins, reaching for your ankles, flexing through the feet. And then maybe you even grab a hold of the edges of the feet. So it's like you're holding on to handlebars, using your feet as handlebars here. And maybe you start to hover the heels a little bit higher towards the knees and in line with the knees here. Soften through your shoulders. This might be way too much for you. Maybe you ease off. Always listening to your body, just giving you options here. These are recommendations to try and see if it works for you. If it doesn't, you just move back to where it feels comfortable. But you want a nice slight discomfort here. Breathe. Big inhale. And big exhale. Soften through your shoulders, soften through your jaw, soften through the rib cage, and allow yourself to settle a little deeper. Two more breaths here. One more inhale. As you exhale, unwind the legs, draw the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, maybe a little rock from side to side here. Beautiful. Letting the feet land onto the mat. Heel toe the feet about mat distance apart. Tuck your tailbone under so you have a nice flat spine on the mat. And then start to windshield wiper the legs. The arms can come out to a T or a cactus. Remembering to inhale as the knees come up and exhale as the knees drop. Maybe you bring your gaze towards that opposite side. And the next time the knees drop over towards the left, stay there. And then take those variations. Maybe you place a block or a pillow underneath the legs to help to support the legs. Or maybe you even take that left ankle and cross it over the right thigh, avoiding the knee. You're going to feel the nice sensation through the top of the right hip, into the right quad. Maybe both sides are a little bit different, and that's okay. If this is too much for the left side, maybe you just drop the ankle back down. Just listening to your body, finding what works best for you. Breathing here. Big inhales. Big exhales. Maybe your gaze drops over the right shoulder. Only 3 more breaths here. As you inhale, gaze come back through center, and then you start to draw the knees in through center, finding that figure 4 shape, tucking the tailbone under when you get there, flat back, and making sure the left ankle, left foot is nice and flexed. So it's like you're stepping your foot onto a wall beside you, flexing that foot. Left knee is starting to pull towards the left corner of the mat. Stay here, or maybe you reach up and grab for the hamstring or maybe even the shin, and maybe start to guide the right knee over towards the right shoulder a little bit more. If you're drawing a little bit more inwards, start to bring it out. And then breathe into the left hip. As you exhale, can you draw the left knee a little bit closer to that left corner of the mat? Really challenging your hip, using the strength of the inner hip to pull the knee towards the left top corner of the mat. Can you soften your jaw and soften your shoulders and allow yourself to just breathe here for 3 more breaths. One more inhale. As you exhale, let go. Plant the right foot onto the mat. Draw the left knee in towards your chest. Squeeze it in. And then come into half happy baby second side. Maybe just drawing the knee towards the left shoulder and staying here. Or maybe reaching up and grabbing for the outer arch of the left foot. And then starting to bring the heel up and in line with the left knee. Flexing through the foot. Maybe you extend the right leg long, left hand drops onto the right hip, right hand drops onto the right hip, and then you start to guide it back down towards the mat. Sometimes when we come into our half happy baby, we start to roll over onto the left hip, onto the left glute, and then the right hip starts to hover. You just want to pull that back down. So then the tips of the hips are pointed up towards the sky and square to the ceiling. Just make those adjustments and then settle in. You've got about 4 more breaths here. Not too much longer. Can you press into the foot and the foot back into the hand to create that resistance in the left hip? Really come back to your breath. And 1 more inhale. And then as you exhale, draw the heel back in towards the glute and then knee back through center. Plant the right foot onto the mat. Take the left leg, cross it over the right. Retuck the tailbone if it came untucked. You can stay here, noting that both sides of the body is different. Maybe this is enough for you on the left side, or maybe you want to draw the knees in. Feel that. And then you start to work down the leg and see if you can handle a little bit more, knowing that the shape doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you go. It just matters what it feels like. So really tune into that. Try not to overdo it or push yourself too far, because you know we're going to be here for a few breaths. So just find where you feel that slight discomfort and allow yourself to stay there when you find it. You're only going to be here for about 5 more breaths, so about 30 seconds. Big inhales through the nose, and big exhales through the nose. As you exhale, can you soften? Can you let go of something? Maybe tightness or tension, or maybe something that's on the mind. Let it go. Slight tuck at the chin. If it starts to rise eye towards the sky, just tuck it in a little bit. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, you unwind the legs, draw the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Beautiful. And then you can either roll over onto the right side or start to rock and roll up the spine and find your tabletop. Sending the feet behind you. Plant the hands onto the mat. Really spread through the fingertips. Really spread the hands nice and wide. Think about biceps forward, triceps back. Your hips are right on top of your knees here. Beautiful. Let's just do some cat-cows here to warm up the spine. Drop the belly down, gaze comes up. And exhale, round the spine. Inhale, coming back up, lifting the tailbone high towards the sky. Press the earth away. And exhale, round the spine, tuck in towards the belly button. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale to a flat back and send the hips up and back, down dog. First down dog maybe of your day, of your week, who knows. You can pedal that out, maybe the first down dog ever. And allow yourself to be okay with that. In our down dog, we want to make sure that our hands and our feet are quite wide from each other. So if you're going to pull into a high plank, that's exactly where your feet were going to want to be. So then you can try that. Maybe you come into a high plank for just a second and then push your hips back to make sure that you're in a nice alignment here in your down dog. You can pedal it out, thinking about spreading those fingertips nice and wide. Think about biceps forward, triceps back, and then start to send your chest towards the hips, towards the thighs. Let's bring both heels up towards the sky and then dropping them down towards the earth. Inhale, bring them up. And exhale, drop them down. Beautiful. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to walk our hands back to our feet. And then forward fold. I'm just going to stay in the middle of my mat. You can go to the back of your mat and just start to dangle here, maybe grabbing onto your opposite elbows, tucking the low belly in, little bend through your knees. Think about sending your sit bones high towards the sky to help straighten your legs. Your legs don't need to be straight whatsoever. You can have a nice bend in your knees here, but just think about sending that sit bone up towards the sky. And breathe here. Notice your shoulders. Are they starting to hang low towards your ears? Can you send them up the back? So it's like down the back if you were standing up, but it feels like we're pulling them up towards the sky here. Maybe you rock from side to side. Beautiful. Planting the hands onto the mat, heel toe the feet nice and wide. Point the toes off of the mat, heels stay on the mat, and then you start to sink the hips low. This is a beautiful place to put a block or a bolster or something underneath your sit bones, because maybe this is too much, or maybe you have to stay up here. This could be just a little bit too much for your hips. That's okay. And if you need to, you can come onto your back and find full happy baby. And maybe we would just rock from side to side. Your hands come to heart center, and then find some stillness. Really think about sending the crown of the head high towards the sky and the sit bones down. This really elongates the spine. And then send the breath towards the belly. Press the triceps into the knees back into the triceps. Breathe here. Beautiful. So this next move might not be accessible for everybody, but I want you to take it super slow. I'm going to show you guys how to do it, and then you can follow along. And just take with what you need. If you just want to do one round of it, great. If you don't want to do any rounds, you can stay here, or you can come onto your back into happy baby and just stay there. No big deal. But we're going to take the left hand behind our back, right hand in front. Drop the right knee forward towards the top of your mat. Left knee comes back. Beautiful. Stay here and then lift up onto the shin. Squeeze your glutes, send the hips forward. Beautiful. And then come back down. Left hand plants, right hand plants, come right back through Malasana. And then we're gonna switch sides. Right hand behind, left hand forward, left knee drops, right knee drops, and then lift up onto the shin. Send the hips forward, squeeze your glutes, sit down, plant the hands, and then you just send it back up. And then if you wanna keep going or wanting to join me now, you start to go with it. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, sitting low. Plant the hands, come back through center, and then switch sides. And just go through that, maybe one more rotation, moving super slowly and allowing yourself to be okay with wherever you are today. Maybe this is a brand new move for your hips, and that's okay. I've done this many, many times. And some days I'm really, really good at it. I can do it without my hands sometimes. Like today, I have to use my hands for support and be super gentle. Coming back to the center. When you're ready, hands come back to heart center. Inhale here. As you exhale, let's fold forward. Bring the feet towards hip distance apart. Send the chest down towards the legs. Breathe here. Beautiful. Plant the palms, step the feet back, finding your down dog. Maybe you want to stay here. Maybe you're feeling a chaturanga by shifting forward, high plank. Cycle through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, down dog. Beautiful. Right leg floats high towards the sky. Draw the right knee towards your right shoulder. Step forward. Drop the back knee down. High lizard. You can stay here on your hands. This is a beautiful place. You might feel it deep into your hip. This is very similar to where we just were, but one leg forward. Or if you think about it, it's like half happy baby, but we're now planting our foot onto the ground, making sure the knee is stacked right over top of the ankle here and in line with the toes. Some people like to go like this and the knee is not in line, so make sure that it's in line. Big inhale here. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you start to drop your elbows down onto your block, onto a pillow, whatever you need. And then close your eyes. Just allow yourself to find stillness and reconnect to your breath. And then there's an option here to maybe start to roll over onto the right edge of the foot. So the knife edge of the foot. The knee starts to point out, so it's still in line with the toes here. You start to open your chest towards the right side of the room and then press the right hand into the right thigh, the inner thigh, avoiding through the knee. That could be a nice sensation here. Or maybe you start to grab a hold or even just reach back for the left foot, and the left foot might not even be accessible for you, and that's okay. You can just stay here. This is beautiful. Or maybe you grab a hold and you really spiral the chest up towards the sky. The gaze can come back towards the back of the space, or maybe just up towards the sky. Breathe into that. Really settle the left hip down towards the mat. Really open up through the chest. Big inhale here. As you exhale, letting go of the hand, right hand plants, left hand plants. Step it back, down dog, or maybe cycle through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, down dog. Switching sides, inhale, left leg floats high. Draw the left knee towards left shoulder or tricep, squeeze in and then step forward. Drop the knee down right away, untuck the toes. You know where we're going, second side. Find what you need, making sure that everything is in line. So left ankle is right under left knee and in line with the toes. Everything is in alignment here. Hands can stay on the mat, or you start to walk down onto your elbows, onto the blocks, or onto a pillow, whatever you need for that support. Find that. One thing I notice a lot in lizard is people, right when they get here, they tuck their chin under and then they round their spine. What we want to do is we want to bring our gaze towards the top of the mat, or maybe a foot in front. Keeping a nice flat, long spine here is just going to be better for the body. So breathe into that and notice that. Notice if you do draw the chin in towards the chest, that does just round the spine. Just notice that. Be aware of it. Try not to get into that habit, and gaze comes forward. Beautiful. And then you can open up into the twisted variation of our lizard by pressing into the left thigh, rolling onto the left foot, side of the foot, left edge side of the foot, and breathe here. Or maybe you start to reach back and maybe start to kick the ankle or the heel towards the glute, and maybe you grab on. This is a really deep quad stretch, so give yourself grace if you can't get here. No big deal. I've been practicing yoga for like 10 years.
Ring closed.
And my Surrey just wants to let me know that I've worked out for today. Great. Breathe here. And then maybe letting that go, planting the left hand onto the mat, right hand onto the mat. Step back, down dog, maybe cycle through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and then exhale, down dog. And pedal that out. Beautiful. We're going to drop the knees down onto the earth. We're going to take the right knee, cross it over the left. So you can see that the right knee is now crossed over the left. And we're going to sit back. So we've already been here. So if your feet are together, start to open them up wide towards mat distance. And then you start to settle the hips down. See how that feels? If that's too much, right leg, so the bottom leg, comes straight, and then this might be more accessible for you. If this is still too much and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, Toni, what do I do? Just cross your legs, right leg in front of the left. Beautiful, okay? Definitely can change it up whatever you like. If there's something that just doesn't serve you, we just modify, find something that serves you a little bit better. So inhale to lengthen through the spine. You know that we were here in this exact same shape on our backs, and now we are sitting up into our full cow face pose, or shoelace we like to call it, in yin. Inhale, and then as you exhale, you can start to fold forward, grab a hold of the ankles, or maybe just walk your hands forward. Notice the right hip, is it lifting up? Start to set it back down onto the earth, and settle the chest down. Breathe into that right hip, that place of sensation. Allow your shoulders to soften, your gaze to soften, and breathe into the belly. Two more breaths here. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Can you get a little bit deeper? And then inhale, start to roll yourself up. Bring the heels back towards the glutes if they're not there already. And then just roll over, meet in tabletop. Everyone, we're going to step back into high plank for a second. Challenge yourself here. Step into high plank. Just for a few breaths. Hold here. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your core. Press the hands into the earth, biceps forward, triceps back, high onto the tip toes. If you notice your hips are low, send them higher. Should be in line with your shoulders. Big inhale breath here. Maybe you shift back into down dog, or maybe you cycle through chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful. Drop the knees down. This time left knee wraps around the right. Open the feet wide. Sit the hips low. Finding a variation that fits you best. Also, I should have said this on the other side, but you can also sit up high onto your bolster block, whatever prop that you're using, and use that. Or same thing, straighten the left leg, or find cross-legged. When you're ready, inhale to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, you fold forward. Breathe here. Notice that left hip, is it starting to lift off the mat? Try to send it back down. Every exhale, can you get a little deeper? And just inhale yourself back up here. And just uncross the legs, send the legs forward, untuck the flesh from the glutes. Inhale to reach the arms high towards the sky, and then as you exhale, start to fold over the legs. Maybe the hands just land onto the shins. Maybe you only go a little bit and this is enough. You just want to feel a nice sensation down the back of the legs. Inhale to lengthen your spine, and then exhale, maybe you can go a little bit deeper. Tuck your low belly in. Send the shoulders down the back. Gaze comes forward. Think about rolling the pinky toe edges of the feet towards your hips. So you're pressing onto the mat or onto the wall in front of you, because we like to roll our ankles inwards for some reason. So try to just roll them out. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold a little bit more. Inhale, roll yourself back up. Come down onto the back. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little rock from side to side. Breathe here. Start to give yourself a little hug, maybe grabbing for your knees or your opposite wrist, or maybe reaching all the way for the opposite elbow and draw the chin towards the chest, the forehead towards the knees. Squeeze everything super tight. Big inhale breath. Holding at the top. Sip in a little bit more air. Squeeze a little tighter. Sip in a little bit more. And then as you exhale, fold everything down towards the mat. Allow yourself to completely surrender here. Softening your shoulders, maybe tucking the shoulder blades together, palms of the hands face up towards the sky. Allow your feet to open up and rest onto the mat. Breathe in. And exhale, side out, let it go. And I just want you to cultivate some gratitude here for your body, for showing up for your practice, showing up for your body, your mind, and your soul. Doesn't matter what the practice looked like. It doesn't matter if you had to take breaks. Just showing up and doing it is honoring your body and honoring yourself. And every day you show up on your mats, you get a little bit better. You feel a little bit lighter, a little bit more connected to yourself and to the universe. That's all that matters. I'm going to leave you here in Shavasana. And I challenge you to take another minute or so here on your backs, just closing your eyes and finding that nice meditative state where you are just allowing everything to just be. Just be here, just be still. Nothing else to do, nowhere else to be for the next 60 seconds. And I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up for yourself, for allowing me to guide you through your practice. From my heart to yours, namaste.